Hi, this is Nate KIEVMAN, and we are here with Steven Gonzalez. We're going to be doing a profile optimization, part of our collaboration with Linked Intelligence blog and Link Strategies, my blog and group on LinkedIn. We're doing a profile optimization week. This is our free profile optimization week. Steven Gonzalez was our first winner of day one, and we're going to be going through a profile optimization with Steven. Steven, you go by Steve, though, correct?
Correct. Or you can call me Gonzo.
Gonzo or Steve? I like Gonzo. Do you really go by that?
Yes.
All right. You're Gonzo to me today, buddy. I appreciate that. So
You got it, Nathan.
we're going to be going through and just optimizing and talking through some of the pieces on his profile to help everybody that's watching in and enjoying this video. It's going to be there's some tedious parts where we're doing some like kind of wordsmithing and so forth. We'll pause the video during those periods of time and come back with a final product of each piece. But you're going to really enjoy this. Hopefully, if you do the same things that we're doing with Gonzo's profile, you're going to find yourself in a much better position than you were before for creating better converting pages, an easier found profile, and so forth, and all the other benefits of having a really nice, optimized, and well presented profile. So, with that, let's go ahead and get going. Gonzo, you ready to go?
I am ready.
Okay, so to start, what we're going to do, just do a little walkthrough of the profile and just make some comments here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the webcam, and we're going to jump right into the profile. So I'm going to move this out of the way and make the screen larger for everybody to see. There we go, good. So this should speed up the screen as well. Okay, so looking at Gonzo's profile, we have a good picture. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, last name, great. We have a description, a title description here, and what's called the professional headline in this area. This is not bad. We'll talk about some opportunities for optimizing that and improving upon that as well, and the different theories that are around professional headlines. We see that you're up to date, keeping things fresh in your status updates. That's good. Keep doing that. We have a current title, General Sales Manager at Radio 1 Philadelphia. And we have some past roles as well. Okay, excellent. We have our education is filled out. You did notice on the top, before I go too far down, we did have 100% profile completeness. For those of you that don't, do make sure that your profile is 100% complete unless it's by choice. You choose not to. Some people choose not to put education in or something else, and therefore their profile will never show complete. In your case, though, Gonzo is complete. He's done under everything, so it means he's got some recommendations. He has his current and past roles filled out. So pretty good here. Gonzo, one thing I would recommend is try to get to about 8 recommendations. It's going to start helping more with your SEO once you start getting over 8. And also with the recommendations, where they recommend matters, meaning that if you have a past job that is not relevant to your current keywords, that's not going to help you as much as a recommendation that's to a current title that would be more relevant to your current keywords that you're trying to get found for. So just as a heads up there. So what happens is when somebody does a recommendation for you, they can choose the title that you have any of your current or past roles. And they can select any one of those to give you a recommendation for. So,
Understood.
yeah, cool. Connections, you're at 274 connections. Great. You can always expand on those. There's the theory of open networking and non-open networking. Looks to me like you are dedicated to a tight-knit network, which is probably a good idea for the role and the business that you're in. Is that correct, Gonzo?
I'm open to what again? Say that again, please, Nathan.
Do you know what open networking is?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so for those of you that are unfamiliar as well, like Gonzo with open networking, what we have is we have 274 connections. Most open networkers are people that will connect with anybody on LinkedIn. They're just looking to expand and get their profile more robust and get it out there. So that by connecting with more people, they believe that then they can therefore connect with more third and other second degree connections through that more expanded first degree network, which is true. There's pros and cons to that model. Me being a LinkedIn strategist and teaching on LinkedIn and training on LinkedIn, I connect with most people on LinkedIn that want to connect with me. However, it's not the best strategy for everybody. So if Gonzo, your target market is in the radio space, connecting with people in government may not be as applicable, or connecting with recruiters in Southern California may not be as applicable for you. So, but as an open networker, that wouldn't matter to you. So there's the two theories that follow around connections. You go with whatever makes sense to you. There's no right or wrong about it. LinkedIn would say open networking is wrong, but LinkedIn also has an open networking feature within their paid membership. So it's kind of like a catch-22. I mean, we know that an expanded first degree network allows us to connect more effectively and easier with second and third degrees in our network. But that said, you can't necessarily get a recommendation from somebody you don't really know, and you can't get an introduction from somebody you don't really know, not one that's really great. So those are some of the theories behind it. We can get into that. Yeah, we can get into it a lot deeper, but that's the basics. So what we have here is we also now have websites, and on the websites, what you do is you see My Visual Resume, we have blog, and we have blog. So what I would typically do is I would I'd edit this section, and what I like to do is describe everything. So even if it's my blog, but what's the title of your blog? In order to understand that and show that to the world, you need to choose and select a different category. I'm just going to make sure that I can see. All right, we're good here. So you'll see on the screen here we have websites. On the top one, you did this appropriately, right? You said other, and then you did My Visual Resume, and then Visual CV. And then you did here on the blog, you have chosen your blog, but this is called Around the Horns PG. Is that right? What's PG stand for?
Correct. It's Around the Horn. That's just my initials.
I got it. Okay, so Around the Horn. So we call this
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn. My blog. All right, we'll just call it something. You can change this as you see fit. And then this one is we're going to have like Philly Business Leadership. Is this yours as well?
Yes.
All right. What do you talk about here? Is leadership in business in the area?
Correct. It's called the corner. It's called the Office with a View.
I love it. All right. All right, we don't have enough room. All right, so we'll just title those. All right, so those would be done, and then the visual CV. What's the? I mean, are is this your resume in like a video format?
It's a resume with pictures and documents attached to it. So it's, I mean, I just call it my visual resume.
I would actually probably.
Nathan, one of the things I was thinking is calling it my interactive profile.
There you go. I like that. Good work. All right. So you'll see here on the websites. Now, if you only have one website and you're, for those of you that are listening in, you can select other and just pick multiple pages within that one website and do the same kind of thing. In this case, Gonzo's got a couple of different sources that he's driving people to, but he could literally just have like pick an article within Philly Business Leadership or the Office with a View, and write and title it that way. One thing that we do on mine, we give our quick start guide is a single page on my website, which is vast, and we give a link straight to that. So that's a way to entice people to get from the website, from my profile on LinkedIn to my website, where there's going to be more capturing opportunities. Capturing meaning like I can get more information, I can get a name and an email address, I can start building a relationship that way. All right, so what we're going to do now is we have a handful of items here. We'll come down to those, but we have some wordsmithing to do. Really quickly, what I do is you'll see that Gonzo's got in commas and broken down this way his interest. But just to clean things up and to make it a little prettier, what we like to do is throw it into a document that we can bullet point it out with. And so we're going to actually do that right now. You got sports, reading. Okay. And so Gonzo's got a lot of interest here. Family, Mount Rushmore complex. Okay, very cool. All we're gonna do is highlight these, bullet point them, and copy them. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. Now, also what you want to know is that when you do things like this, everything that's coming over into LinkedIn is going to be text format. So you're not going to be able to use any HTML or codes or anything like that. Looks like you did this already on your honors and awards.
Nathan, I got a question for you.
Shoot away. Yep, go ahead.
Did you mean to put what you just copied in under interests?
Thank you. Good catch. Don't want that in the wrong place. Perfect. There you go. Thank you. That would have been interesting. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to actually space these out because they're more.
I might have gotten. I'm sorry.
No, what was that?
Since I have Mount Rushmore complex, I might have gotten a lot of requests from climbers.
I bet.
And hikers.
Well, you know, what's funny is we have a lot of clients that, like, if they're, we work with obviously, a lot of CEOs and executives too, and you know, and oftentimes they're going to have an interest that's going to be like, fast race cars, sailing, or flying, or wine, or something to those effects, and they always want to put those in for the interest. They just love putting those in, and they always talk about how they get more comments about those things than anything else. So maybe not a bad idea. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save this. Now that's been structured, and each of these categories have been formatted a little bit better, so they look a little bit better. They're easier to read. They're easier to see within the profile. All right, so let's go ahead and continue down. That was we just started by editing the websites, and now your websites look like this. Instead of saying my blog, it says Around the Horn my blog, Office with a View blog. Cool. You have integrated your Twitter handle, which is great. Recommend that. And also what you've done appropriately is you've personalized Stephen Peter Gonzalez, your public profile URL. Excellent. So if you guys haven't done this, do try to personalize this. If you haven't personalized it, it will show up like, instead of in here, it will say PUB / and a whole bunch of numbers and letters. Definitely want to make sure that that's personalized with your first and last name included. Okay, so the next thing is the summary. We have two things we're going to jump into, is the professional headline and the summary. We're going to jump into those here in just a minute. What I want to start off with, before I get into the professional summary, headline and the summary, I want to just look through. Their experiences are all fine. Everything below this is pretty much okay. What we want to do is go back up here, and we want to add some apps in. So you have two blogs. Which of those two blogs would you prefer to be on your LinkedIn profile? Gonzo?
Which do I prefer?
Mm-hmm.
Around the Horn.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to open up Around the Horn in a new tab while we load this up. So we're going to go up to the More tab. We're going to get more applications. I don't want to delete anything. That was weird. All right, so that's going to pull up in just a second. And as the Get More Applications pulls up, what we're looking for is, now if you have a WordPress blog, you would use the WordPress blog feature. This is not a WordPress blog. I believe this is a Blogspot, correct? Gonzo?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to go into the blog link.
It is Blogspot, correct.
Blogspot, okay. we're going to click on blog link, and then we're going to check to make sure both of these are displayed on my profile. Now, it looks like this is already displayed on your profile, which means that we need to go all the way to the bottom of the profile and take a look for it. So what would typically happen is the applications would show up here. LinkedIn did a recent update, and anybody that had applications underneath their specialties, it dumped them all the way down to the bottom of your page, and unbeknownst to most of the users. So this is, his profile is more enhanced than it actually comes off as, because these are buried at the bottom of the profile. So what we're going to actually do is, you can go on the edit feature, you can go over the title of the category, which is applications, and you'll see that it gives me this little cross, and then it highlights. I can left click on it, and I can literally drag it all the way to the top of the page so that it goes where I want within the profile. And where we want it is right below the specialties category. It's going to take a second to climb up this, all the history. Let's see where we're at. Okay, it's above recommendations right now. You can tell this takes a minute to do this. All right, so that should be the right place. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. Yep, good. Okay, so we've dragged that up, and now this is going to show up right below the specialties category, which we'll enhance in just a minute. And we'll just go ahead and refresh this screen. All right, so those are going to pull up here in just a minute as they're kind of catching up. So we have SlideShare presentation, we have reading list by Amazon, which is great, and I think you had your blog link already. Box.net and SlideShare. Nope. Okay, so we want to add blog link after all. So we're going to go to the blog. We're going to grab the blog URL, and I'm going to go over to blog link. I'm going to add this application. We're really working hard right now on the computer.
Nathan, you said you can only attach one block, correct?
At a time, yeah. We'll take a look at blog link, see if it will pull both of yours. I'm pretty sure it will only pull one. Blog link has been notoriously slow as it is, but I'm thinking that because of my computer is bogged down a little bit with a couple of big applications running here while we're recording. Oh, there we go. Okay, it did. It works fast. Excellent. So this is all your blogs. It should pull up right here. Good stuff. Lots of good logos. And we're going to go ahead and take a look on the profile. I'm going to refresh the profile now. Now, the neat thing about applications is, most people, a question that we get every once in a while is, how do I put my applications in order? Like, I want a specific one on top. The most recent edited profile will go, or application will go to the bottom of the list. So what you have to do is you have to remove all of them from your profile, and then go add them in one at a time from top to bottom. So for example, if we want the blog link to be number one, then we need to actually remove all these other three, and that really is taking a long time. There we go. And then we put them in order. So one of the things that I'll leave for you, Gonzo, to do is, which order you want these to be in is remove the application. Then you have to go do exactly what I just did, is go back into the More section and go to Get More Applications. You got to go through that step to do it. And then you're going to want to make sure both boxes are checked before you update it. That will add it to your profile again. Okay? I'm going to explain that one more time if you
Gotcha.
need to. So in your case, I would probably put
When you say that, Nathan, do you mean,
Go ahead.
do you mean to redo the list of books that I've read already?
No. You can leave all those in. All you do is when I say remove it, like let's say for example we want, let's you want for example your box.net to go to the bottom. You just remove that, and then it's still there. All we have to do is go add it back to your profile. It just disappears from your profile. And then we want, you know, let's just do it real fast.
Okay.
I'll just show you. Like I like reading list by Amazon, but I want to put it number 2. So I want blog link to go number 1. So I'm going to leave that there. It's the only one on the profile at the moment. The next one that I want, I got to go to get more applications to make this work. I'm going to go into the get more applications. And then from here, I'm going to go to the next one that I want to show up, which in this case, I would like to see reading list show up next. So I'm going to go into reading list from this screen. I'm going to go into reading list. And you'll see down here, when I removed it, it unchecked this from my profile. I'm just going to recheck it and update the settings. And now that's going to be second. So that will process. And then what I'm going to do is,
Understood.
you get it? So if you can go back in when we're done and add the other 2 in the order that you want those in, and then that will be finished up on the application side. All right. Let's keep on going. Okay, so in way of applications, we're pretty good. I mean, you have more on your profile than most people use and have, which is great. You have a presentation, you have your reading list, you have your Amazon, your Amazon books, and then you also have your blog roll. So just scrolling down your profile, we're looking at experiences. Not bad. This is good. All right, you have your education. Let's do recommendations above experience. And that's up to you, but I think that that's a good place for it.
Let's do it.
What's that? Do you want experience or recommendations first?
I'll take recommendations for 1,000.
Okay. All right. We have our groups that we're a member of, honors and awards, and so on. Okay. So you can add any personal information on your own. I'm not going to do that here in the recording, but you'll see that. Okay, great. Now, so that's essentially the optimization of the profile with the exception of the 2 main parts. Now, these are the 2 pieces that I want to spend a little bit of time on, and then we'll be able to call it a day. We're going to go copy, and we're going to take your professional headline. We're going to dump that in. We'll just do that right here. And then we're going to take your summary. And I want to show and your specialties. All right. So when we're looking at a professional headline, we're really looking to create a couple of different opportunities for yourself. You have to understand that a professional headline is attached to your name and attached to your picture on LinkedIn. So any commentary that you make, any interactivity that you do on the platform, even if you're a job seeker and you're on like Simply Hired, when they highlight over your name on Simply Hired, or you're a connection to somebody and they see you there, this is what pulls up. So it's really important that this gets across what it is that you want to portray about yourself. So there's a lot of ways that people do it. People in the business space will do it somewhat differently than someone that's looking for a new opportunity versus somebody that is, working for an organization. So Really what we want to do is, though, we want to highlight your expertise and your skill set, no matter which one you're in. So the way that we do this is we're always looking to create a value or a solution, or a statement about that. And then we do, I like these vertical lines, which is the shift key, and the backslash, which is right above the enter button. You have the value or solution. You may do another value or solution. And then the two most important things that you can do is establish trust and credibility. And then, of course, you're going to end in a title. Now, this is a standard version. Now, it doesn't have to go in this order. We have people that start with their title, and then they have a few things after it. We also have people that will do other things. So they'll make a statement of why someone should work with them. It'll be more like a, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of one off the top of my head, but I saw one recently that was, if I can show you how to make $1 for your organization, would you be willing to give me a quarter? Or it was another one that was, contact us and we'll show you for free how we can help you optimize your social media. Right? There's some standard ones. They're more of a statement, trying to grab the attention of somebody. But the problem with those is they don't get over that initial barrier of trust, which is actually a perception of risk. So for Gonzo, when you're trying to get somebody to look at your profile, and somebody's looking at you and they have 3 to 8 seconds to actually take an action on your profile and click, they need to be able to overcome the hurdle of trust through a virtual world. I just did an interview with Stephen M. R. Covey, which will be coming out here in February, and it was all about their new book called Smart Trust. And one of the things that we talked about in that interview was all about how trust has to be in play or nothing can actually take place. So if we aren't able to portray trust at some level in our profile headline, then we're kind of missing the boat altogether. I think that I can learn from that statement as well and go re-optimize my own professional headline, because I'm saying it now. I'll be the cobbler's son for a minute. But how can we get that across for you? So as we look at your profile, we want to look for things that establish credibility and trust. Credibility kind of also establishes trust. So like big numbers of successes, like if you've generated X number of sales in the millions, that's always great. Or worked with so many clients, or been in the business for so long. How can we quantitate something that will create trust and credibility? So what we typically do here is we move into a brainstorming session. I'm going to pause our video and do a little brainstorming session with Gonzo. We're going to come back. We're going to have our final version of this for you guys to take a look at.
Okay.
Okay, we are back online with Gonzo, and here's what we ended up coming up with. I think it's excellent. Here's our old professional headline right here: experienced sales manager focusing on team development, leadership, and business strategy. It didn't do a whole lot for me, right? It doesn't overcome that barrier of trust. It doesn't entice me to want to click. It just says, this is who the guy is. I have no reason for engaging him. Doesn't give me any differentiation about what he is. But look at what he's done. Unbelievable. This is what we were able to pull out in our little brainstorming event. We had general sales manager of Radio One. Let's play off the credibility of Radio One of the largest radio organizations in the world. Radio, digital, and sponsorship sales. This is what he does. This is a value or a solution that he actually focuses on in his role. Then we got into some successes to overcome that trust and credibility, or to portray trust and credibility, to overcome the risk of somebody wanting to just pass you by. Beat market growth, 19 to 22 months. Over $8 million of sponsorship sold. That's buried. Nobody knew that until we had a little chat about it. So amazing opportunity to now highlight his expertise. Now you see this particular profile and you're like, wow, this guy's got it together. He's really done some amazing things. I want to talk to this guy. That's what the professional headline can do. Great job, Gonzo. I think the professional headline is awesome. We're going to add that in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and move into now is your summary page. Now, what we're going to do with the summary is also a bit of wordsmithing. I want you guys to take a look at what's here currently, and you'll see the strong leadership skills. This is very resume-like, and this is coming from a resume. We're going to move this into a third or first person kind of format. And then we're going to put in some bullet points that highlight some of his successes in the middle that draw your eye right to it. It's really important to do that, because if you go through a profile and you just look at a summary page, most of the time it's just a block, and a block of text. your eye doesn't go anywhere. But because there is so many blocks of text, if you bullet point something out right in the middle, it draws your eye right to it. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next piece. We're going to, again, we're going to pause this. We're going to come back with a profile summary that has been optimized, and then we'll go ahead and call it a day here for our optimization profile session. Okay, we are back, and we just had a brief little session here, Gonzo and I, going through and wordsmithing his summary and his specialties. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we did. Now, this again was the old summary that we saw. It was on his LinkedIn page. You'll see old right here, and his specialties were pretty much squeezed together. Now, we go ahead and we move to the new version of this, and you'll see we have a more personal, interactive paragraph about Gonzo, and then we talk about a little bit of what he's currently doing, and we get right into some of Gonzo's successes include, and we go right to a couple of bullet points of his success. You can see how impactful this is already, just looking at the difference from what it was. Your eyes draw right to it, and you see some massive successes right off the bat. And then we see just a little bit of a casual ending with him and his wife and his children. And we bullet point out the specialties. Now, what I wanted to highlight with this is one thing. The main thing about this is that Gonzo works for an organization at Radio One, but we need to make sure that he's building his position of power. And his position of power is about him. It's not necessarily about his company. And this is the same for everybody that's engaging in creating a profile. Is you can create an interactive profile that's very strongly supporting the organization you're at, but it also has to very strongly support you independently of that organization. So please keep that in mind as you're going ahead and you're building out your profile and you're optimizing it and you're tweaking and wordsmithing your professional headline and your summary. We're going to go ahead and throw these back into the profile, and let's take a look at everything as it's totally completed. Okay, we are back in action, guys, and what we've done is we went into Gonzo's profile, we added in his professional headline. This is what it looks like now, and it really highlights his 8 million in sponsorships sold and his expertise and his success. And then down below, what you'll see is the summary and how different this looks from earlier on. Just those 2 blocked paragraphs. Now you look at his profile, you're drawn right to these numbers and his successes. And then you see the specialties are broken down as well, so it's easier to see. So that's basically the process and the structure. How you wordsmith and what you put in there is going to be up to you guys. But that's really the essence of a profile optimization. I'm going to end with 2 last things, actually. The first is on your picture, try to be turning the other way, so you're turning into your profile, creating a more inviting approach, having a smile on your face, and typically with like a white, a gray, or a light blue background. And try to stay away from red t-shirts and so forth. I think you may have a red shirt on there, Gonzo. Something more blue or white or something to that effect, just so you're putting off the right kind of approach to yourself. I think that would be more appropriate. And then finalize with, that's more kind of like psychographic issues that we get into on the profile pieces. Then the last thing is your skill section. Let me see here. It's up on the top. Under the More tab at the top of your page, you'll see Skills. And under the Skills, this is a really great keyword strategy. Make sure that you go in, you add all the skills that you can, fill it up as much as you want around pertaining keywords for what are relevant to you. And then once you're done with that, and it's going to take some time to load here, I'm not going to wait for it. Oh, there we go. So you just type in anything like, sales, and then I type in sales, and what's going to happen is going to give me a drop-down box of everything that shows up with it. Now, from here, you just pick which ones are relevant. You can pick as many as you want. Once you're done with this, save it, go back to your LinkedIn profile, click on the edit screen, and then you can actually add years of experience and your expertise level in each of those categories. Most people don't know that, and that will really enhance your findability and your opportunities. I get job requests and requests for consulting work all the time, even though I'm not open to jobs. I'm open to consulting opportunities. So I get requests for those almost on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis, because of how impactful we've done it on our own profile. So that's it. Gonzo, I think this was awesome. I really love your profile now. I think this is top notch. It looks sharp. We're going to throw up the final version of this up on the website. Thank you for being our first winner in the contest. And please share the word with your friends and send people over to the contest to enter as well for the last couple of days.
I certainly have been, and I will continue to. Thank you very much, Nathan.
Okay, thanks, Gonzo. Take care. Bye now.